Assalamualaikum and very good evening to our dear lecturer, Miss Nuraida, and fellow friends. Today, our group 6, will present case study about buying green consumer behavior.
Hello, hi everyone. I am Saidatul Amira. Will explain in short about this summary of case study. The topic of our case study is buying green consumer behavior. As we know, green consumer goods such as organic food, free trade coffee, and electric car are rapidly expanding in a market area. Based on article, Nina Mazar and Chen Buzo demonstrate that people who buy green products like eco-friendly, for example, laundry detergent or organic yogurt, were less likely to share money with strangers, more likely to cheat on a task where they could earn money, and more likely to steal money when they thought they would not be caught, in a series of experiments comparing green and conventional product consumption. Lastly, it's about purchasing green product may license, indulgent in self-interest, in unethical action, which is the researchers said, whose study generate a lot of praise in their own country of Canada, as well as in American and British publication, said that finding startled them. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Ethics can be described as a set of principles that contain behavior code to determine what is right or wrong. The term ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means character, spirit, and attitude of a group of people or culture. It also outlines the moral duty and obligation that any human being should practice. Ethics may be divided into two branches, which is normative ethics and meta-ethics. For the normative ethics, it is a set of principles that guide or regulate human conduct. It provides general guidelines for deciding what is morally right or wrong. While for the meta-ethics, it is the study about where the ethical concept came from and what they mean. It has two main forms, which is moral relativism and moral objectivism. Moral relativism considers what is right or wrong is not absolute. It is relative and variable depending on the person and social situation. Meanwhile, moral objectivism considers certain acts objectively right or wrong, independent of human opinion.
Next, we will proceed to discussions, questions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to our lecturer and friend. My name is Muhammad Shafiq Shafiq bin Shuib. I will answer the question number 1, which is, beyond a green consumption, what other type of product might bring about similar kind of moralizing effect? Can you think of instance in your own life when you purchase choice have forced you to make a decision that were less than ethical ideal? In our opinion, the product that have similarity in moralizing effect is charity affiliate product. This product relate with fundraising campaign or finance that being collect from the crowd, where every purchasing of the product will be transferred into donation to a charity. People nowadays tend to buy the product that have charity program in it, rather than buy the product that doesn't have the charity program. So, in this situation, the people that buy product that have charity program will think they have been good behavior, because the moralizing effect is exists among them. Next, moralizing effect is when the person tries to disengage from subsequent good behavior later, such as declining to help and give some donation to someone who are begging at the street, because the people that buy product that have charity program or donation program will think they doesn't need to help the people in the street, because when they buy the product that have charity program, they also donate the sum of their money for the people in need. This has been approved by the Higgins. According to Higgins, 1996, people tend to have an ideal good self-image they use as a benchmark against which they judge their current good conduct, which means the people that already have buy anything that have in donation program or charity program, they think when they buy the product, their money has been donated to the people in need, also people that in the street. So they doesn't want to give an extra donation for people instead that in need. So this will answer the question number 1. I will pass for the next presenter.
We go to the second question. The question is, do you think these moral licensing effects are common across all kinds of green consumers, or are there other factors that might either exacerbate or weaken the effect? Why or why not? For me, I think no. This moral licensing did not affect all the green consumer, but it only involves certain of green consumer. It might be happening to those people who have certain issues such as psychological problem. It is because the moral licensing effect is not the standard behavior in the entire green consumers in the country. Most green consumers are usually involved in ethical behavior due to the personal will and way of life. Still, this life way had turned them into immoral people who would not share anything with people. Besides that, there are some factors, namely demographic. According to the Daud in 2012, a study found that middle-aged people have high intention in purchasing goods. There is the main source income of the family. Therefore, they usually give a lot of attention purchasing good quality products such as organic food. Other than that, attitude and behavior could also be one factor that influence green consumer. Therefore, attitude can be divided into two. For example, attitude to the environment and attitude to the product. Thus, both have especially influence on green purchase behavior. Generally speaking, the environmental benefits sometimes brought the effect of possessive behavior control on consumer green purchase behavior stronger than their attitude, because consumer easily get influenced by expression of feelings. Besides that, other factors might exacerbate the effect, factors such as racism, whereby the consumer might tend to buy goods from people of different color to avoid being called racist, to avoid accepting the good from people of their race despite them having the best product. Lastly, social factor is the one that affect of the green consumer moral licensing, such as social media. Public posting always influence role in consumer behavior in connection to environmental product. For example, advertising of the product is mass communication that make consumers purchase plan to choose the environmental protection food. Okay, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you to Arif Hidayat. Now, I will proceed with my part, which is question 3. Based on our opinion of why do the researcher found the opposite result from the initial perception is firstly because personal attitude and preference on the green consumer themselves. This is because although the person show good behavior by purchasing green product, it will not change their own personal preference and attitude. Therefore, their own bad attitude will still lead them to act unethically. For an example, in this case study, Maza and Zong found out that those shoppers who carried with them reusable grocery bag were much more likely to buy environmentally friendly products such as organic food. However, they were also more likely to buy indulgent products such as cake, ice cream and cookies. Next, The second factor that lead to the opposite finding is there are no awareness among the green consumer regarding importance of buying green product. They only do positive things such as purchase green product when they want to, and in order to take care of their self-interest. This may lead to the conflict of interest. Therefore, conflict of interest make people difficult to maintain their positive moral and tend to change their behavior according to the situation. For an example, in this case study, Maza and Zong found that when shoppers were told that the store required customers to use cloth bag, licensing effect disappeared and customers choose not to purchase the indulgent product. This shows that the consumer behavior are not consistent. The third reason of why the researcher found the opposite result from the initially perception is moral licensing effect. Moral licensing effect refer to the idea of engagement in a behavior which people perceive as moral give them a license subsequently behave immorally. A couple of psychological theories lend support to the idea that people who do something for the environment are less likely to move on to do other things, including theory on moral licensing. For instance, the researcher found that those people who bought green product were less likely to share money with a stranger, more likely to cheat on a task in which they could earn money, and more likely to steal money when they thought they would not get caught. That's all from me. Thank you. Now I will proceed to the next presenter.
Thank you, Haziq. I am Saidatul Amira. We'll answer question number 4, which is, what step do you think can be taken to help minimize or mitigate this type of moralizing effects among green consumers? I have several points about it. First of all, I will explain what is moralizing. Moralizing is doing something good give us a license. This psychological bragging is called moralizing, and it explains why people who behave morally at first are more likely to later engage in behavior that are immoral, unethical, or problematic. Moralizing is the tendency to use previous good behavior to excuse a current bad behavior. Next, to help minimize or mitigate this type of moralizing effects among green consumer, which is a consumer themselves, could minimize these moral impacts by implementing a penalizing system and rewarding good behavior. For example, whenever a customer maintains both of usage of a green and lower level of dishonesty in their activity or task, they should devise a strategy to reward themselves for encouraging for good behavior to continue. In addition, create an environment in the workplace that value and encourage a good civic behavior. In my opinion, intrinsic motivation is more effective in motivating employees because people want to perform work rather than have to. Trust will deliver within the organizations and productivity will increase. We also believe that the majority of leaders understand it, but the appeal of extrinsic variable is the short-term improvement in our productivity and the easy which is they may be implemented. Lastly, the importance of properly understanding that moralizing ensures will for explanation to justify continue this particular behavior in this particular situation, which is weaknesses. Is we catch ourselves in the mess of looking for loopholes, we may be able to avoid using the loopholes and therefore boost our odds of retaining the habit. Thus, the aim at the understanding what a moralizing is If you are aware that you are allowing yourself to act foolishly, you are more likely to resist from doing so. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
My name is Alya Dafinah binti Daud, and I'm going to talk about question 5. We're destroying the earth, and it's something that we can prevent. We can take small steps towards reducing our environmental footprints. As a traveler, we use a plethora of eco-friendly products that can make a huge difference. When it comes to taking green initiative, a great place to start is to reduce waste. By 2050, the amount of plastic in the ocean will outweigh the fish in the ocean. That statistic is shocking. We all need to replace the simple items we use in everyday lives, environmentally friendly products, to have a large impact. As a brand manager of green products, the best way to advertise the products and reduce the moral licensing effects would be to show the consumer the positive effects of consuming green products concerning the ethical behaviors that have to be upheld. This would include the efforts that show consumers of green products on their excellent behavior. A good example that we can adopt in our daily life is zero waste concept focused on the prolonging the life cycle of the purchased item. It's a significant part of 5R formula: reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, and finally recompose. Zero waste activists strive to reduce the number of landfills and incinerators and communication of the idea of multifunctional usage of the products. They do not believe the recycling is an all-pervasive solution. Zero waste is also about learning, saying impulsive and unplanned purchase, and refusing single-use item plastic packaging, and if possible, packaging at all. Okay, number 1 is the bamboo utensils. This is where is heat resistant, small, lightweight, and the perfect environmental friendly travel product that is eco-friendly utensils, safe during those random times when you desperately need a spoon or fork to eat. Second is bamboo drinking straw. For some reason, every bartender and barista and restaurant think we need a plastic straw for our drinks. Seriously, next time you go out, you really question yourself, do you need a straw? Most people do not need a straw. I think they should be done away to altogether to except for their medical needs. The reality is that we use these little things once they go right into the landfills. That's where the bamboo drinking straw can come to the rescue. Third is reusable grocery bags. Eco-friendly bags are usually made of woven cotton fiber. They are incredibly stress resistant and durable, and since they are not transparent, no one will find out if you bought an extra Nutella can. And even if your customer do grocery shopping online, they still may want to use a nice reusable bag grocery in carrying their regular stuff. Consider informing your customer that they get a discount if they use a reusable bag when picking up a purchase item. Thank you.
As the conclusion, we have acknowledged that moral licensing effect has existed among green consumers due to several factors, which are attitude and behavior of the consumer, psychological problem, and no awareness among green consumers, which lead to the inconsistency of consumer behavior. After that, educating consumers in regard of the potential benefit that are associated with the buying green products, such as conduct educational campaign and promote through social influence marketing, such as Twitter, Instagram, and blog communities can help within the moral licensing effect. It is because nowadays there were many influencers, so they can help people to show their influence by having a green product in their home. Based from the topic, we can conclude that the consumer behavior is important measure that can help to effect on majority to use the green product in the future. It also can enhance the excellent ethical behavior among people because the attitude to protect the natural resources by having eco-friendly product in our home is important. So of course, in our topic, the important for people to having a green product nowadays is important to protect our natural resources. We can see there are a lot of things that non-eco-friendly. So our people must to do something in avoid to make our natural resources being loss. In this case, we know that people having a big role to protect our natural resources, because we must protect our natural resources because to make sure our next generation can taste our natural resources. So in this case, the important to having a green product or buying a green product in the society is important to make sure our society have a good ethical behavior and good attitude in order to protect our next generation in the future. Thank you.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching.